Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Veronica and today I'm going to tell you about the effect of mobile access dictionary or One Easy Learning Dictionary on student vocabulary achievement at SMPN 11 Kendari. In this presentation, I will divide in 5 sections. The first one is introduction, the second one is literature review, and the third one is methodology, and then finding and discussion, and the last is conclusion and recommendation. Let's move for the first one, or introduction. Okay, as we know, the vocabulary is a sub-skill in English language, or we can say that it is the first step. The first step we must to know for be English language well. But during in learning teaching vocabulary, the researcher or teacher found some case on student. The first one is maybe like students still less has vocabulary and then doesn't know the meaning of the words. So the student, the researcher give some suggestion to help the student. It is give some method, same media, like using MED for helping student for remembering the more word. And based on the reason, the researcher conduct the whether or not significant effect of using mobile access dictionary on student vocabulary achievement. And the research question for this research is there any significant effect of using mobile access dictionary on student vocabulary achievement at SMPN 11 Kendari? And the objective of the study is to find out whether or not significant effect of using mobile access dictionary. And the scope of the study is conducted by learning vocabulary by using MED or One Easy Learning English Dictionary, and focus on memorization and pronunciation. And the topic from the this research is about thing in the house, thing in the classroom, and public building. And this research has two hypotheses. The first one is there any significant effect of using mobile access dictionary? And the second one is there is no significant effect of using mobile access dictionary on student vocabulary achievement at SMPN 11 Kendari. And the next is about definition term. The first one is definition of mall. According to Lee 2011, say that mall is an approach that used by mobile handled device. And according to Bagus, the second one, according to Bagus, One Easy Learning English Dictionary is on English Indonesia offline dictionary. And according to Linsem, say that vocabulary is collecting the word that we know and don't know. And next session is a literature review. For the first definition is MED. According to Farisa 2013, MED is internet access that used by user in dictionary. And before explanation, that One Easy Learning English according to Bagus is English Indonesia offline dictionary that can searching the meaning of the word by audio visual. And according to Linza, say that the vocabulary is collecting the word that we don't know and know. And next about the learning vocabulary. According to Nation, in learning vocabulary, we must have responsibility to be autonomous learner. And to be autonomous learner, it means that we must to focus with want to learn. Like maybe you want to use this word when you want to word, how to word the word, how to use the word, and like an etc. And according to Cameron, Brewster, and Ellie say that for learning vocabulary, you must give a some list. It means that you must have list for the word that you want to learn, and after you learn, try to pronunciation, and after your pronunciation you try to repeat again, so you can easy to remember the word itself. And the next session is methodology of the study. In this research, the researcher used quasi-experimental design and consists of two classes. The first one is experimental class, and the second one is control class. And using mobile access dictionary or fantasy learning English dictionary is an independent variable, and student vocabulary achievement as dependent variable. And the population of this study was all 7th grade students at SMPN 11 Kendari. That consists of 76 students, and the population, the sample of the student is 51 students. And the researcher pilot the data on Tuesday, October 23, 2018. And the result of the validity of the study was 25 were item valid and 19 item invalid, and the result of the reliability is 0,913, and it means that the reliability is very high criteria. And to collecting the data, the researcher used pretest, and after give the pretest, the research give a treatment. After give the treatment, the researcher use give a post-test. And to analyze the data, researcher use descriptive and inferential statistic. Okay, next for the fourth section, or finding and discussion. In finding, first one I want to explain about finding in experimental class. Okay, I have a chart. Is a finding in experimental class. You can see that the student who get very high criteria in post-test is higher than in pre-test. Is the student who get very high criteria is 57%, and in pre-test is 24%. It seems like high criteria, but in very low and average criteria, you can see that pre-test is higher rather than the post-test. Like in average criteria, the student who get very average criteria is 38%, and in post-test is 13%. And the second chart in experimental class is finding in experimental class. You can see the main score in pre-test. The main score in pre-test is 59,66, and in post-test 79,63. And in maximum and minimum score, you can see that post-test is higher than pre-test, but in standard deviation, the pre-test is higher than the post-test. And the next finding is in control class. You can see I have a chart again. You can see that same with experimentation before. The post-test student who get very high criteria is higher than in pre-test. You can see that the student who get very high criteria is 14%, and in pre-test is 9%. And in average, low criteria and very low criteria, you can see that pre-test is higher than post-test. Like in low criteria, you can see that the student who get low criteria is 19%, and post-test is 9%. And the next chart is, we can see that in pre-test, the main score in pre-test is 55,19, and in post-test 64,8. And in maximum and minimum score, you can see that is post-test is higher than is in pre-test, and in standard deviation, pre-test is higher than post-test. Or we can conclude that in experimental class, is there any have a significant effect of using mobile access dictionary, and in control class have no significant effect of using mobile access dictionary on student vocabulary achievement. And The hypothesis in this research it gotten T count is 3,775 and T table is 2,010 and P value is 0,00 and value of alpha is 0,05, or we can conclude that T count is higher than T table and P value is lower than alpha, or we can say that hypothesis or H1 is deceptive, or is there any significant effect of using mobile access dictionary on student vocabulary achievement. And the effect size of this research it's gotten 0,474 and based on coherent criteria classified in medium effect size. Okay, next part is about discussion. To increase student vocabulary based on median effect size, it caused by some factor. The first one is because the researcher found the new media to helping students for learning vocabulary, and it can be more interesting rather than printed dictionary. And the second one, in this application has question and material, so the student can learn by this application. And the last factor is in this application has audiovisual like real picture and pronunciation, so the student can easy to remember the material or the word that they learn by the application. And the factor have been explained by some theories, and it be the reason why the value of experimental class is higher rather than in control class. Okay, next session or the last session is conclusion and recommendation. For the conclusion, I will conclude that is there any significant effect of using mobile access dictionary by using fun easy learning dictionary on student vocabulary? Because the researcher find new media that more interesting for the student, and it can make student easy, enjoying, and more motivated to learn vocabulary. And then for recommendation on this research is to next researcher maybe conduct to different level. And the second recommendation is it because this application increase the student vocabulary, so the researcher suggests to you applying this application. And the last recommendation is you can applying this application in smaller group, so you can manage your time, you can manage your student when you learn in learning teaching process. So I think it is the last of my material. Thank you.